friends after. All right, Michelle, take it away.
Oh, you guys, I'm so excited because this is something that we haven't really done before in this way. But this is an opportunity for you to hear just a few stories. And I'm going to start by sharing a little bit of my story, especially about how I started with Plexus, sharing the products, mostly because I wanted to get the cost of my products covered, and to where I am now, where this is a major source of income for our family. So 6 years ago, I was still a homeschooling mom. I am still now. I was also a fitness instructor and I was an English tutor. And so I would wake up at 4:30 in the morning and I would tutor until, let's say I would tutor from 5:30 until 8:30. And then I would write all of my class feedback and all of the things I had to do. And then I would come upstairs and start homeschooling our kids. We have 5 kids. And then I would teach group fitness classes. And multiple days a week, I would go and donate blood plasma. and and that was the way that I know. If you are squeamish with needles at all, I don't recommend it. But that was the way that I created a little, not even margin in our budget. You guys, this was keeping us afloat. My husband was in ministry and we were actually church planting. I was a work from home mom because I was doing all of the things because I was homeschooling our family. It was something I was really passionate about doing. And when I started the products, it was mostly because I thought I was going to probably have to quit my job as a fitness instructor because I was in so much pain all the time and I felt exhausted all the time. But what I found is that I have a love for health and wellness already, and the products were helping me feel my best again, and I could share about them. And then it was providing a source of income for our family. Now, the first few months that I was sharing, my whole goal was so that I could get the cost of my products covered. And then I wanted my husband to start taking the products. And so over the course of a few months, I was just sharing what I was doing on social media. I was mostly on Facebook. I would do a live once a week and share kind of an update because honestly, when you guys, I started, I was like, I don't know what this pink drink is going to even taste like, but here I go. And so the next day I came back on and I was like, did I have to hold my nose and chug it or could I drink it? And I just shared along the way what was working for me. And I was really encouraged by what I was seeing. And I would look, I wasn't fancy. There was no fancy anything. I would sometimes go to my laundry room and do my live video because I have 5 kids. And that was like the place nobody wanted to go. And so I would share my journey. And then people would start asking me, like, oh, do you think that'll like help migraines? I don't know, maybe. And then I would ask Tracy to help me tell them if it would help whatever their stuff was. What I really found over the next few months is a hope for something different than what I was experiencing currently. Because I'd seen God provide for us through those other means, but honestly, I just couldn't see that playing out long term. I really didn't want to keep waking up at 4:30 in the morning because that meant the night before I was having to say goodnight to my family and peacing out kind of early. I would always be thinking about, oh, I got to go to bed. I got to go to bed because I got to wake up so early in the morning. And it just wasn't a fun way to think about long term happening. But I started getting paychecks that were starting to be equivalent to what I was making tutoring. And you guys, I looked back in my journal today because I'm a journaling person. And one of the things that I wrote down in 2019 was, I wonder if I could make as much with Plexus as I do tutoring. I wonder if I could swap that and make it so that I would make that money with Plexus rather than tutoring. And over the course of months, I did. And it wasn't just overnight. It wasn't just super easy. I had to start getting intentional with what I was doing with my time. I asked Tracy, who is actually my cousin, to tell me what to do tell me how I can help more people and actually increase the income that we were bringing into our family. We had dreams, you guys, and it wasn't going to happen waking up at 4:30 in the morning and getting paid the same, regardless of how good of a teacher I was. And so now, you guys, what happened, which I had no idea was going to happen, 2020 happened. Everything kind of shut down. I lost my job as a fitness instructor because my gym closed. And then I started tutoring a little more. And then I didn't know this was going to happen, but some of the guidelines for the tutoring company that I worked for changed, and that position was going to be eliminated. But what had happened over the course of that year was that I did work intentionally and replaced more than twice, three times what I was making with that tutoring company. I had to do math in my head really quick. And I didn't have to wake up at 4:30 in the morning. It was actually really exciting. And here's the thing that I found that made it all worth it. The better I got at what I did, the better I got at helping people, leading people to reach their goals. That actually changed the amount of pay I was receiving. The other companies that I was with, you guys, I could be a rock star teacher, I could be a rock star instructor, but they had an across the board pay scale. Everybody got paid the same thing. It didn't matter how good I was. I got paid the same thing. And so what I found with this opportunity is that I could pour into other people, help them reach their goals. I could get better myself. And that would impact directly the amount of income that I could bless my family with. And I didn't have to say no to things that I was saying no to before, like staying up late with my family watching a movie, or, doing some of the other things that I really wanted to do rather than hanging with them. So guys, that is just a little bit of my story. I don't want to take all of the time. I want to pass it over to my friend Kim, because she is going to share a little bit of her story.
Thanks so much, Michelle. So yes, like Michelle said, my name is Kim, and I have been an executive assistant when Plexus was introduced to me. It's what I had been for over a decade. That's just really like, I felt like I'm a behind the scenes kind of person. I like to be organized. I like to just make sure that people are taken care of. And so, but it was a super demanding job. I traveled internationally quite a bit, and it was just like, it was a really good job, and I loved what I did when I loved it. And then I had a little boy, and my world changed. And so I was already taking the products, like I said, when I was still working. And I, like, unlike Michelle, I didn't really need an additional like line item for the products, because I had a job that I was doing really well. But I was like, well, this is cool, like I'm feeling better. And people were starting to take notice. They were like just asking me, like, you seem different, you seem happier, you seem like you have energy, which was something I did not have, because I was struggling with insomnia for several months, and I was just like dragging through the day, or like sipping on all the, energy drinks, everything I could get my hands on. Well, people started seeing that like I had energy, and that they weren't seeing the Starbucks anymore. They were seeing this little pink drink. Because, we're all on Zoom at this time. And so people were starting to ask me like what I was doing, how I was feeling. And I started sharing kind of like with friends and family that were taking notice. And then I was able to help them get started too, and helping them see results as well. And then I started getting these paychecks, and I was like, well, this is cool. Like, I'm all about this extra fun money. Which that fun money ended up paying for our son's entire nursery, which was such a gift. And like, truly, I'm a very emotional person. But if I think about it too much, I will truly cry. Like, just the impact that people who had trusted me enough with their health journey, that paycheck was already impacting my family and the future of my family. And every time I lay my son in bed at night, like, I'm so grateful that there's a bed in there that was provided by people that I love and I was able to serve. It was just such so fulfilling. And like I said, I can get too emotional about it. But I was just kind of doing that. And I was never a person that was like, selfies, or like, this is what I'm doing, this is my flavor of the week. Like, that's not my style. So when I was like, well, I'm sharing with people already about this, like, I guess I should really go public with what I'm doing because I believe so much in what I have found. And I know that there's going to be other people that feel like they're just settling for feeling the way that they are, or like the way that society tells us, like, yeah, that's just normal. You're just supposed to feel like crap. Just take an Advil, And I'm like, that's not how I want to live. So I did start sharing with on social media, and it just has continued to grow. And it's been such a blessing to be able to bring others on and help them feel their best, and get some extra money in their pocket as well, because we all need it, right? So like I was saying, I had that job. I loved it until I didn't, when my son came along. And then it was like, my priorities are not my boss's priorities. And my priority is my son. And what can I do to be home with him as much as possible? And so that's where I kind of like, I made the shift, and I was really focusing on like how I can stay home. And then God answered that prayer in the way that God answers a prayer, in not the way that you ever expect. On January 15th of this year, my job was eliminated. And it was a role that I truly felt like I had job security in. Like I said, I had been in the job for a long time. I'd worked for the same executives for 6 years. We had become family. And so it truly rocked my world. But after I got over the initial shock, I thought, I have plexus. Like, this is my way home. And this is truly my answered prayer. And it's been such a wonderful blessing, financially, but also like, I worked in IT. So I'm just going to be real. Like, all of these squares that I was with, they were all men. And like, guys are fine. They're fine. We all need them, right? But they're not community. They're not people that I'm going to connect with. The people in these squares are our family. This is community. This is something I never ever experienced in all my careers or all my years of being in corporate America. And this is like a safe space. It's been such a huge blessing for our family. And it's like we just have so many seats at our table. That's really what's great about it. Everyone is truly welcome. And so, yeah, it's just been a huge, huge blessing, so much fun financially, but also like it got me to be where I really wanted to be, in a way that I never anticipated it being or it happening. So, all right, that's my story. I'm gonna hand it over to Tracy.
I'm going to take us home tonight, you guys, and I want to paint a picture for you. It's really funny because I know some of these faces on this screen, and they've known me for a long time. But a lot of people didn't know where I was 7 years ago. I think we all have that point in our lives where we realize, like, this is not maybe what I've dreamed of. I have an 8.5-year-old son. I always thought I would be a stay-at-home mom. That's kind of what I always thought. My mom stayed home with us. And then life happens, and we live in one of the most expensive areas in the nation. And my husband's a builder. And when you start out as a builder, like, you're working on bonuses and low annual salaries. And that was not the road that we had been given. And about 7 years ago, I remember going to my husband. We had a 1-year-old at home, and I was a graphic designer for an ad agency in Dallas. I was Zooming. I was working in the office a few days a week, working from home a few days a week, dropping my son at friends' houses. Started him in preschool earlier than I thought I would. And I just remember going to my husband and saying, like, dude, there has got to be another way. Like, I don't know if y'all have ever felt that before, just that, like, there has got to be another way. And I opened an Etsy shop. I was like creating invitations for friends. I was trying to hustle. I was trying to like create outside streams of income. And I just didn't have enough time in the day to work my full-time job and try to create income on the side and be a mom and be a wife and all of the things. And I remember telling my husband, like, I hope you didn't want any more children. Like, I can't imagine having more children at this point. Like, I can't imagine it, because I am not Superwoman and I can't do it all. And in that moment, we got real serious and we started praying. We started praying, Lord, bring an opportunity to us where Tracy can be home, still bringing in income, but like not having to like put my son in his crib so I could take a Zoom call while he's screaming in the other room, right? Like that was my reality. And it was because that was my job. And you answer to clients when you're a designer like that. And so we started praying, and I will tell you, I was not open to network marketing. If you're like, what is Plexus? Plexus is a network marketing company. We share with others and we help others share with others, right? That's what we do. I was not open to that. That was not something that I was looking for. And in fact, I was currently in the process that time 7 years ago of unfriending people who were reaching out to me about network marketing. I was like, no, like I don't want anything to do with that. Um, and and this is where my story kind of changed. My health was fine until it wasn't. And 3 months later, from that moment we started praying, I would find myself in a health crisis. I had finished nursing due to mastitis. It was kind of ripped away from me when I didn't expect it. I was on back to back to back antibiotics. I was on a weight gain roller coaster uphill. I'd gained 20 pounds in about 4 months. I was struggling with postpartum depression. My GI system was a wreck. My eczema was out of control, and I was pulling back out maternity clothes. So things change when your life is in crisis, right? Can I get an amen? And things that seemed closed now seemed open. I actually didn't start Plexus for the opportunity. I started because my health was in crisis and a friend was listening and offered me a solution that seemed to address all of the things that I was dealing with. When others that I had gone to were like, we could do this for this, and you could go see this for this, and you could do, like, it was all disconnected. It made sense to me. And so I came to Plexus for the products out of desperation, you guys. I was in crisis. I was not able to show up for anybody the way that I wanted to. And that next day, literally the day after I joined Plexus, my friend who had invited me on this journey, she hit what we call a new rank in Plexus. Okay. Now, if you're not familiar with ranks, it's just a sort of way that Plexus celebrates you for growing a business. And I'll never forget it. She hit the rank of Ruby. And I went to the comments like, what does Ruby mean? Right. And it was basically $2,000 a month. Okay. Y'all, in that moment, it was like big banner. Remember that prayer you've been praying all along? This is the answer. And you guys, that is when I started sharing Plexus. I realized that what I had come to for a health crisis was actually possibly an answer to what we'd been praying for the past 3 to 4 months. I started very kind of skeptically. I called my parents, right? Hey, mom, hey, dad, like you might see this. And y'all, just affirmation after affirmation. My dad told me he'd been researching Plexus for 6 months, and could I take his order? Another friend of mine told me that she'd been looking at Plexus or another company, and she just asked for affirmation of where she could go, and she joined me on this journey immediately. It was affirmation after affirmation, and just so open-handedly, like working hard, but like knowing I'm still not quite sure that this is the road, because I said I'd never do something like this. How many of y'all said you'd never do something like this? And now maybe you find yourself curious, or you find yourself asking questions. I just want you to know that you are in such good company, because I don't think most people go looking for something like this. And I just continued. I continued opening doors. I will tell you from the beginning, I have felt like Plexus was not the only way that the Lord could have answered these prayers, but it was a good way, and the door was opened. Mine for the taking, you guys. I have consistently shown up in this business, sharing these products. helping these teammates of mine grow their own businesses for the past 6.5 years. I have more than 4 times over what I was making as a graphic designer now is my income with Plexus. It has blessed our family more than I can imagine. It has allowed my husband to have the flexibility to try some new things, to leave a job that wasn't serving him well, that maybe he couldn't have left if our whole income was reliant on him. He is now in a job that is so life-giving and so fulfilling for him, with a different builder in the area. And y'all, it has just been the biggest blessing. We now have 3 children, so we've added 2. They are all boys, and I am at home with them. I am a mom who works from home. I'm able to show up for my priorities 100% of the time. I'm able to help other people do this too. And I'm able to really find that harmony in life that I wanted. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. I also really love crushing goals. Okay. Like I love working hard towards things. I love helping people do things. That was my favorite thing about graphic design, was seeing the completion of a project, having a client be so happy with the work that you've done for them. And I get to do all of those things here. I like to say, Plexus is my thing. Like it's my thing. And just like Michelle said, my income ebbs and flows on what I'm able to lean in and do or step back and not do, right? It can ebb and flow from season to season. But here's the coolest part, y'all. It has been a sustainable, reliable income for our family for almost 7 years now. And I had never seen that happen in network marketing. Plexus is different. And this is kind of what I want to end with. The company is legit, you guys. It's debt-free. You don't have inventory from home. I don't have a stock room of Plexus products. In fact, I just messaged my neighbor because I was like, I'm out of ProBio 5. Do you have some? Like, I don't have extra product sitting in my house, right? Everything is just so above the bar. And that is what I love about Plexus, y'all. It just feels different when you partner with a company that is all about, like, their motto is, if you're blessed, be a blessing. Okay. So that's what I want to leave you with tonight, y'all. My vision now, and you guys are a part of this, is more people finding more freedom to live the lives of their dreams, more people being able to serve the Lord in ways that are far beyond our wildest dreams, more people coming into community, life-giving community with other women who are cheering them on and not tearing them down. Well, that is what this is all about. And we want you to be here, and we want you to be a part of this. And we want you to know that whatever questions you have, they're not silly. They're not dumb. If you have hesitations, that's okay. But we want to answer those. And we want you to feel confident taking this next step with Plexus if that's something that would be a blessing to you. So thank you so much for being on here tonight with us, guys. We're going to let you go now. And just thank you. Thank you for spending this time with us. I hope you're encouraged, and I hope you'll be a part of our vision. All right. Bye, guys.